Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
What's good? Welcome to another LiveWire Sports Media update. All right, so for the last few days, we've been talking Caitlin Clark, the athlete of the year, the controversial take she had, and everything. There's been videos, live streams, so forth and so on. Actually, it's been pretty healthy, pretty knowledgeable. Agreed, disagreed. So there's been pretty good information because it's probably one of the most controversial, probably the most, you could say, for this end of 2024 year. But nevertheless, Caitlin Clark is the center around everything. So, but I came across two videos by that was posted by I think, let me see to make sure I'm saying it right. I don't like to misinformation nobody. By the Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hall News posted these two videos. One is by News Nation and the other one is by Who 13. And they was talking about the same things we've been talking about, but they have a different perspective on it. Now, I think News Nation, the guy he's talked about it, and he had a pretty good, profound thing to say. And he has some advice to give to Caitlin Clark. And which he said that, hey, Caitlin Clark, you don't need to take the high road no more. You have taken the high road long enough, and you don't need to continue to take the high road. So my question is that do Caitlin Clark needs to continue to take the high road? Do she have done enough and she doesn't really owe anybody anything? So I'm gonna play the clip and then I'm gonna dive back in to give my analysis on it, and then I'm gonna play the other clip.
Patrick, now to you. Why not call her what she is, which is the face of the WNBA?
But yeah, what we don't want to hear, Marky, and good morning, good Monday morning to you. What we don't want to hear is ridiculous statements like that, okay? Caitlin Clark is the reason why the WNBA and the NCAA women's basketball tournament got its highest ratings of all time. 48%. It was up the attendance in the WNBA thanks to Caitlin Clark. And the Mystics, get this, they're 31%, Marky, of their overall attendance came from the two games that Caitlin Clark played in that arena. So
yeah, there wasn't just all of a sudden a huge contingent of Indiana fans in D.C., right, out of nowhere.
I mean, it's just mind-boggling that someone who's apparently quite successful, this owner, would make comments like this. You know, there was a time, Marky, when the NBA wasn't that popular. Go back to the 60s and the 70s. Then a couple of guys came along by the name of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Yeah. One white guy, one black guy. Okay, they elevated the entire league. Then a guy by the name of Michael Jordan, a black guy, came along, and what did he do? He elevated all the other great players in the league. Nobody named the NBA the athletes of the year. It's a total joke to make that comment. Caitlin Clark is trying to take the high road, and I've rarely had advice for her, Marky, but I'm going to give her some now. Caitlin, you don't need to take the high road anymore. You've taken it plenty of times. Go do what you do. Be popular. I paid thousands of dollars, Marky, for Taylor Swift concert tickets. Why? Yes. Because that's what the market bears. Nobody's complaining that she's a white female. She's a very successful artist, just like other successful artists, whatever their background is. The economics take care of
the Clarkonomics. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is just, we got to get over this. Let's play basketball when it's WNBA time. And Caitlin Clark, be proud of all you've done. She's a generational player. That's
so why would
changing the way
she
the game
speak
is
out
played.
in this way, Patrick? I mean, the owner of the Mystics, I'm sure she'd be happy to have her on her roster and bring those kinds of butts and seats to every single game. I mean, if Caitlin Clark is the rising tide, why speak against her, especially in a league where, you know, people switch teams, you're traded?
Right.
I mean, but why?
Can you say
She knew
jealousy?
this would get that kind of headline and reaction.
Yeah, can you say jealousy, Mark? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, you're going to throw out the race card. I don't know if that's part of it. All I know is that there's been a lot of great players in the WNBA, and there still are a lot of great players other than Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark's a great player, and Caitlin Clark's the reason why many people, many sponsors, and many new television stations want to put the WNBA on. Okay, that's just a reality. Just look at, I come from a sport in tennis where men and women are paid equally at the majors. You know, they moved the matches to prime time in the US Open final. Why? Because of Serena Williams. That was the reason why. Men and women. Sometimes the men are more popular, sometimes the women. But the facts are the facts. The NBA overall is a much more popular product and has been over the years than the WNBA. Now the WNBA's got a chance to make some huge inroads, which they already are. Be quiet out there and relish Caitlin Clark and what she's bringing to all the other players in the league and get off her back.
Yeah, and be thankful for the future opportunities, you know, that this could open up for other players. It was really stunning to see, and we wanted your take on it. Patrick McEnroe, thank you as always, my friend, for hopping on. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, so you listened and heard that, and me personally, I agree with his assessment because the fact of the matter is, you look at every other athlete that has come before or after have moved the needle, and the WNBA has been crying for so many years about wanting to be irrelevant, want to get paid more. Now you have an athlete that comes into the game, has the Taylor Swift movement, the Beyonce movement, you know what I'm saying? And he brought up a pretty profound thing because as successful Taylor Swift is, she's all over the place. She's dating Travis Kelce. They supposed to be engaged. She sells out tours. Then you got, on the other hand, you got Beyonce. You don't hear Beyonce crying about Taylor Swift taking all the shine from her. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce is just as big. I'm not a fan of neither one, but hey, it's just what it is. You know, you got Chris Brown just sold out 2 nights in Africa at the largest stadium ever, 94,000. You don't hear Ed Sheeran crying out here about him selling out. You don't hear other artists crying out here. So when Tiger Woods came into golf, yeah, there was jealousy, resentment towards him, but guess what he did? He put money in their pockets. He put golf on the map. Same thing with Serena and Venus Williams. And then Serena took it off. You know what I'm saying? Same thing when he just brought out with Michael Jordan and Larry Bird on. These women are in the WNBA are so hateful and jealous because they stuck on this agenda situation. You know, they want you, if you don't fit in, then you don't get credit. We don't consider you one of us. But me personally, Caitlin Clark doesn't owe none of them any apology at all. She doesn't. And whether we agree what she said in Time Magazine or not, that's her opinion. That's her truth. You know what I'm saying? We can't crucify her for what she said and then say, hey, you know what? I can't deal with her no more. It just it doesn't make sense. because we all came to see Caitlin Clark for what form or reason or another. But the WNBA has an identity problem. They do. Because the fact of the matter is they have these women in there that are so catty, so jealous, so envy. Even Caitlin Clark gave her praise to black women that came into the league or whatever. Now I do not believe that these women built the league. I think they are pioneers of the league because they didn't build the league. The NBA built the league. If it wasn't for the NBA, the WNBA would never exist. That's just pure facts on that. So these women like Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, Teresa Weatherspoon, all of these ladies that played in the league would never have been seen at all. They've probably been playing overseas somewhere. We would have never knew none of them, except for their college days. That's it. So these women in the NBA need to realize that the NBA was the front runners, the starters for them to be able to be in the league in the position that they are to make sure that they was being relevant and being seen. The league has folded the league has been in a bad position for so many years, and it took it 27 years to get to back to relevancy because of one athlete. Whether you like her because she could play ball, whether you don't like her because she's not what you want her to be, that's your problem. Because at the end of the day, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. Caitlin Clark is not going anywhere. So and if like I said, I don't agree with her assessment of saying lifting, black women up. I think she said, I agree that yeah, you could give them praise or whatever, but you just can't give them everything because a lot of them have not earned everything. Why can't Aja Wilson coexist in the same league as Caitlin Clark? There's Breonna Stewart, there's Sabrina Ionescu, there's Kelsey Plum, there's Elena Deladon, there was Teresa Petachero. All of these women, Diana Taurasi, all of these women been in there, and none of them moved the league the way it is. What if Diana Taurasi had the same kind of cliche, same popularity as Caitlin Clark when she came into the league? How would she be treated? You know what I'm saying? We all know what the issue is. But at the end of the day, like this gentleman just said, Caitlin Clark, she don't need to take the high road no more. She has given them everything. Now it's about her going into the league and say, you know what? Hey, I'm coming in the league to be the best I could be. And at the same time, y'all do what y'all do. I have did everything I can do, but at the end of the day, my job is to continue to help build the league. And if the commissioner can't get behind her, or some of these sorry owners like Sheila Johnson, who married the judge who was over her divorce. You know what I'm saying? She married him. So she's a hypocrite in her own right. But now I'm gonna play this next clip because it goes into a little bit more of talking about the other aspects of this situation.
Time magazine names Iowa's Caitlin Clark Athlete of the Year. Clark follows Lionel Messi, Aaron Judge, and Simone Biles. No unbiased person sees this as a controversial choice. Clark is the main reason women's basketball exploded in popularity. She again won National Player of the Year at Iowa while setting the NCAA career and tournament records for points and leading the Hawkeyes back to the Final Four. A week later, The Fever drafted Clark number 1. She led the league in threes, set single and season records for assists, got the Fever back to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, and won Rookie of the Year. Basketball Reference says Clark has the most viewed WNBA player page and the most viewed college player page. 50 out of 50 states at Iowa and 50 for 50 Fever. She's the face of women's basketball. Clark's impact on attendance and television ratings is, relatively speaking, unlike anything we've seen. In college, virtually all games sold out. In the pros, games moved to bigger arenas. So why would anyone have a problem with Clark winning Time Athlete of the Year? Well, Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson tells CNN it's race. Johnson suggests putting the whole league on the Time cover could have prevented hard feelings. Hard feelings? Clark elevated a 28-year-old league to relevance it had never approached. You would think that would be appreciated, especially by an owner who had nearly a third of her team's home attendance come from 2 Fever games. Clark is not the first to make people care about a sport they had previously ignored. Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, and Simone Biles all move the needle. They have something in common, too. Talent, dedication, and that special something, the it factor. If being great at basketball and white was all the WNBA needed, Breanna Stewart and many other all-stars that came before Clark had qualifications. Do some people gravitate towards someone from their own demographic? Of course. Shohei Ohtani, Coco Gauff, and Nikola Jokic all bring new fans to their sports, just as Clark does. Sport, at its best, is a meritocracy. Clark's logo threes, creative passes, and unquantifiable charisma made her a generational star. On the court, her emotions can get the best of her. Off it, she's been admirably composed. The Time interview has been used to further divide us. Many of the people giving hot takes didn't actually read it, just like some responding to this commentary won't actually watch it. Caitlin did not say she didn't deserve to win or apologize for being white. She said she's earned every single thing, which she has, and added, quote, "As a white person, there is privilege." Now, you can agree or disagree, but Caitlin's entitled to her opinion too. I don't know what Caitlin Clark's politics are, and I don't need to know. I just love watching her play basketball. I do know she's 22 years old and handled all this noise better than most of us would at 42. Don't give agenda drivers oxygen. The silent majority in and out of the league appreciate Caitlin Clark. That number should only grow for Time's deserving Athlete of the Year.
Wow. The last part he said, don't give gender drivers any energy. And that's something we talked about last night, is about energy, giving away energy. Like he said, we don't know Caitlin Clark's politics. Yeah, we seen her like a post with Taylor Swift about Kamala Harris, but that don't mean anything. We assuming, because somebody likes something, you assume that, oh, this person likes this person, because we already know that Sophie Cunningham, they call her MAGA Barbie. She's conservative. She's a Trump supporter. But guess what? Nobody's coming after her because she's not as popular as Caitlin Clark. Now, she probably has some tensions with her teammate, Natasha Cloud, everybody felt like now that Donald Trump is president, that the world is going to collapse and we all in trouble, which I don't believe that for a fact. But the thing about it is, we need to leave ideal politics out of sports. And that's why sports is suffering so much now, because we put in ideal politics, we put in all of these agendas into sports, where sports was so, at one point in time, was able to be enjoyable, was able to feel the escape from everything else that's going on in the world. But now that we incorporate all of this foolishness inside sports and all of this rhetoric that we have in sports, it just makes sports less enjoyable. And yeah, people do not want to participate in dealing with that. You know, I don't care if it's woke or non-woke. Politics never should be in sports at all. You know, unless it's something that the sports league is doing where it needs to be talked about in a government or a committee fashion. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to players in the league, the players need to just play and love the sport. You hear so many young players come into the league like, oh, I grew up loving this sport. All I will ever want to do is just play this sport. That's what Caitlin Clark did. She talked about this so many times that where this was her dream to play in the WNBA. She idolized Mario Moore. You know what I'm saying? She idolized some of these athletes. Yeah, some of these athletes is black. Yeah, she has not talked about anybody white, but she has her favorite player. Just like I have my favorite player. My favorite basketball player is Michael Jordan. My favorite quarterback of all time is Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady is white. That doesn't mean anything to me. Heck, my first quarterback from the Washington Redskins was Doug Williams, the first black quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl. So everybody has a dream of how they want to idolize people when they grow up or who they see, whether it's black, white, green, purple, yellow, all of that stuff. She has her own opinion to say what she wants, whether we agree or not. She has her own opinion about, you know, her idolizing certain players or what she wants for the league. Like I said, it's her opinion. We shouldn't get mad about her opinion. Yeah, we could discuss it, but at the same time, we picking sides for no reason when it's all about basketball. Yes, it is. It's basketball. We drawn to Caitlin Clark because I didn't start watching Caitlin Clark because, oh, well, she's a Christian. I didn't watch Caitlin Clark because, oh, she's conservative or liberal. I didn't watch Caitlin Clark because I like the way she talked. Yeah, she's very intelligent for a young age because you don't have a lot of young men and women that could handle the pressure that she handled. You know what I'm saying? If you look at John Morant around her age and look at her, who would you rather gravitate to? Caitlin Clark than John Morant. Yeah, John Morant is a great talent, but he doesn't have some off the court stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can sit here and have this discussion till we all blue in the face or whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, this is my thing. I feel like there is. I said it last night. I said it again. We need to give Caitlin Clark grace. She has her own opinion. She has her own thoughts. She feels like what she said is right, then we let it be that way. But make no mistake, Caitlin Clark has moved the needle in so many ways for these ungrateful ass women, I'll put it like that, in the WNBA, where only thing they're gonna do is hurt themselves, because it's not gonna hurt Caitlin Clark but one bit. It's not gonna hurt her. And like I said, I don't think her brand is gonna be hurt, because I think people are, right now it's a firestorm, but I think after a few more months go by, it's not gonna be a thing. It's not gonna be a thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then we all gonna go back. We're gonna still be covering Caitlin Clark. We're gonna wait till the season come to see her play, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, the league has again, an identity problem. They has a they have an identity problem, and then they need to it needs to be clear house. I feel like, and I said it before in a lot of videos. I think Caitlin Clark probably is the best thing that happened to the WNBA because she could be the catalyst to really push out some of this nonsense. Not fold into the nonsense, but pushing out some of the nonsense. Whether she said this now and she goes on by her business and still keep her stance how she been handling her business all year long, then that's her. But I ain't gonna let the one time Life magazine comment define my opinion about her. It's just not gonna happen. So until then, stay tuned for the next episode of LiveWire Sports Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and you know what it is. I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment.